What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about if we will see a Dragon Age 4 trailer at the Game Awards. So, I only got this and one more video. Actually, I think that video actually already came out. So, this could be the last solo game that I'm going to be talking about for the Game Awards. I hope you guys have liked this kind of stuff. I know maybe it gets on some people's nerves. I know my wife, who makes the thumbnails, she's getting tired of making the thumbnails for these Game Award videos. But over the next couple days, I'm going to be doing kind of like summary videos. I'll do like games I want to see, games that I think we will see, games that we flat out maybe won't see at all. So I want to do like fun top fives like that, over the next couple days as we get into the Game Awards. And then it's showtime. It's showtime for the Game Awards. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this final game that I kind of want to highlight in its own video. So Dragon Age 4, we talked about Battlefield. We've talked about Jedi Fallen Orders. We've already talked about two EA games. People have asked me about Sims 5. Man, I would love to see a Sims 5 one day, but it seems like they're just never going to leave Sims 4. But we talked about a couple EA games. I think the situation with this game is similar in some ways and also different than what we've talked about in the past. I think it's similar in a lot of ways to Battlefield. And so if you guys haven't watched the Battlefield video, maybe that would be a good idea to do. But this game is different. There's also some differences because for Battlefield, we talked about, all right, we've seen concept things. We've seen, they've kind of highlighted how the engine works in that game. Remember how they kind of showed like the building, whether it's like collapsing or like things just falling off of it. So they've hinted at like what we're gonna get. They've talked, obviously we know the name Battlefield 6. We know it's coming out next fall, and that's a big thing too, right? Dragon Age, we still, in all reality, we don't know all that much about. Now, we've gotten a little bit of dialogue from the game. We've gotten a little bit of concept art. We've gotten a little bit of the engine work. Remember, they showed that just at Gamescom where they had the camera like go through that like foresty area. So we're getting like the thing with Dragon Age, it's kind of weird, but also kind of fun. And I do like the way they've done it in a weird way, is they've given us like more and more each time. They tend to pop up every 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and they show us something else. It's never something of like massive value, you know what I mean? But it's something. It's something to say, hey, we're still around. This game, man, guys, this game is taking a long time, but like we're still here. And again, I think in a way that's kind of cool. Could they have just waited? Yeah. Did they probably announce the game way too early? Yeah. So, all right, the game has a history at being at the Game Awards, right? So I feel like, we've talked about connections before. We've talked about games that have been there 1 year, and then maybe that, does that mean that they'll be there the next? We talked about the Wolf Among Us 2 is kind of the best example of that, where it's like, all right, they got announced, like re-announced, because the game was already real, and then they canceled it because Telltale collapsed, and then they built back up, and then they're doing it again, but they had to start from scratch. So they re-announced it, or really announced it for the first time last year at the Game Awards, and they spent this entire year working on the game. We would assume that Wolf Among Us 2 would release in 2021 at some point. So, like, do you come back? Does Geoff Keighley say, hey, we announced this game last year, and so we want to show it to you again? Now, can you use that for Dragon Age? Sure. Now, Dragon Age, that was 2 years ago, right? That was 2018. So, like, do you say, hey, a few years ago, we had Dragon Age here. We had the announcement. Let's show you finally, like officially, the first trailer. The deal with Dragon Age is this. The game has been in the works for quite a while. I think at least 2.5 years at this point. The negative is we have heard some kind of scary things about it in terms of like the way the game is going, that maybe it's not going to go the way that everybody wants it to, that they're kind of going to switch up some basic fundamentals of what Dragon Age is. So that could eventually become a problem, but also the fact that maybe the game has had some issues behind the scenes. I do remember, I think even Jason Schreier talked about some, rumors or things that he's heard in the past that the game is not having like the smoothest of development times, or like, like people working on it. So that is concerning, but I mean, I think eventually, you do have to show it. Now, the thing is, again, when we talk about the Game Awards, does it go in release order? You can't have too many games, I would say, from the same studio. You also can't have too many games in general. That's the thing, right? We always, I've probably done it 25 times at this point, nailed it in your guys' head. All of these are possibilities, but they all can't be there at once. You know what I mean? Because the show would be 5, 6, 7 hours. You can't do it. So even from an EA perspective, I do like my mini theory, not even a theory, but something I've just like floated out into the universe and hoped it's happened, where like, could every publisher kind of get a chance to do one or two things? And like, if you go to EA, right, we talked about that in the Battlefield video. If you go to EA, you have Mass Effect, which you could show gameplay. You have Battlefield, which you could show a trailer / gameplay, because while Mass Effect comes first, Mass Effect will release first, Battlefield is the biggest. It's coming the soonest after that. It's the next closest game, and it's also enormous. We know, that game, they probably want that game to sell 10, 12 million units. You know what I mean? So that game is going to be absolutely gigantic. So there's a lot of reason to do that. They could pull, a rabbit out of their hat and do Jedi Fallen Order 2 and say, this game was loved so much last year. They've been working on this game for a year. It's still going to be quite a while, but here's your first, teaser for Jedi Fallen Order 2. They could do that. That, I think, would bring the house down. You know what I mean? That would be absolutely amazing. Dragon Age is another one. The issue with Dragon Age is, again, we just don't know when it's coming out. I mean, when it was announced, I think people threw around like this is like a 2022, 2023 thing. I think that's, looking at it now, even though a couple years has passed, looking at it now, I think that's still true. You know what I mean? There's no way it releases next year. I would even say the year after, 2022, maybe the fall. Like if you give them the entire 2022 and you do it at the very end, that's possible. Or then if not, maybe early 2023. So that's kind of where I think. So then the question is, do you show a game in a trailer form when the game still has to come out in another two to 2.5 years? You know what I mean? So Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League did that. Warner Bros. Did that, where it's like, hey, this game's not releasing for another full 2 years, but we're going to show it anyway. Kind of odd. I liked it in the moment. I was like, man, I can't wait to see this game. Like, I'm really happy they're showing it. Hindsight, again, being 2020, it's kind of like, well, you didn't need to do that. It's kind of weird now that we have to talk about, if we want to talk about it, we're talking about a 3.5-minute trailer, and we have to do that for potentially like another year or so until we get more from it. But again, the way they've handled Dragon Age, the way EA has handled Dragon Age is being more open. It's like, hey, we want you guys to see this, right? We're going to announce it super early when we probably only have that voice work done, when we only have this very small, 20, 30-second scene done. We'll show you that. We don't have anything else. Now we'll show you some concept art. Now we'll show you the engine running, and that's it. We're not going to show you anything else because maybe we don't even have anything else. You know what I mean? So, they've been bold, and also at the same time, it's kind of funny in that way, right? Where it's like, they really don't have that much to show, but my God, they're showing anything. They're showing anything that they have. They're like, hey, do we have some paper around here? Okay, cool. Sketch a picture of it really fast because we got to show that at some point. You know what I mean? So it's funny. I think personally, I get a good laugh at every time that it's out. Not in a negative way. I love Dragon Age. I know some people don't like Inquisition. I loved Inquisition. I thought Inquisition was a phenomenal game. So I am pumped for Dragon Age 4, even though, again, there's been a lot of rumors about a lot of negative stuff going on there. So it's very possible they kill that franchise in the same way they killed Mass Effect with Andromeda, or they just failed with Anthem. It's possible we're in for that again with Dragon Age. It's actually, I would say, more likely than not. But again, that's a more pessimistic point of view. I am hoping, obviously, it's going to be an amazing game. But I'm not expecting it. I think to answer the question, right, at the end of the video, I don't think we're going to see it. I think it would be cool. I think it would make sense. Honestly, the making sense part is like the biggest thing, where it's like, again, it's a game that's connected to the Game Awards. It's around every half year or so, right, to show something new. It does make sense that you would come out and say, hey, we showed you a little something at Gamescom. It's been 4 or 5 months. Let's show you another little something. You know what I mean? But at this point, truly, I think we just need the trailer. I think we just, and I'm not saying like right now. I think the next thing we should see is just the trailer. Like, they could keep showing art, they could keep showing the engine, but I mean, just give us the trailer, and if that takes you longer, if you have to wait longer to do it, that's fine. You know what I mean? We don't necessarily need to see it every half year. And then again, when you think about EA, I don't know. It makes sense to do Mass Effect. It also doesn't, because it's not a game you necessarily need to show gameplay of on like a big stage, right, for everybody to see. It's like we already know. I guess it's going to look better, but we know what Mass Effect is. Battlefield, I think, makes the most sense because it's the fall, next fall. It's a huge game. It's a big reveal, I would say, for Geoff Keighley. So I would say if they're going to do anything, I would say Battlefield. I wouldn't say Dragon Age. So let me know, though, guys, in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think we'll see Dragon Age? If not, when do you think we'll see it? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. If you guys haven't followed me on any of my social media stuff, they're all in the description below. My Twitter, my Discord, my Twitch, and my second channel. I'm in a lot of different places and only expanding actually from here. So if you guys want to support me in any of those places, please do. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you all on the next video.